like these little dots that light up. Sure. Okay. They're hearing us. Okay. And we are live. Okay. Let's do this.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, conceal carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back. Once again, we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is Dean. Percocet Dean.
Shit.
That's everyone knows you.
That's been like 2 years now.
Oh, I love it. I still
3 years now.
I still get comments on that.
Oh, that's just funny.
I still get comments on when's Percocet Dean going to be back on? So how you been, sir?
Oh, I've been doing well. Busy as always. Yeah.
It's been, how long's it been? Well, you were here.
It's been about 6 months.
What? Really?
Serious. Yeah. Since I had Rona back in November, I haven't been in.
That's right.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed in.
Yeah.
No.
Which is fine.
Oh, it's a summer. It'll slow up. Maybe you can
Right.
get in.
Well,
fingers crossed.
We'll see. Yeah. All the crazy going on this summer. Family camping trips, motorcycle trip.
Cancel them. You got to do the podcast.
I know, right?
I'll send you a note you can give to your wife.
Please.
Yeah. Dean can't be gone this day. Any Saturday evening, Dean cannot be gone.
Right. Usually I'd be out fishing about this time.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Podcast time.
True.
This is the podcast time.
Fish in the morning, choring all afternoon.
That's
podcast time.
I hear you. So have you done anything Second Amendment related? We still have this little bit.
We do this bit.
Well, every now and then when I remember.
Oh, right. I've been I've gone out to my man cave a little bit and looked at my stuff, and I've reloaded a little bit.
Well, these times are especially difficult for you because you are simply just a 100% almost pure reloader.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I don't buy ammo.
You don't buy ammo.
No, I don't. I don't need to.
Well, you do now.
I do now, right?
So how you sitting on components?
I've got enough powder. I've got plenty of primers, plenty of powder. As long as I want to use one particular powder, that's it. One. I've got like a couple gallons of unique,
and you can use that for all your calibers.
You can use it for pretty much every pistol that I shoot.
Okay, well,
and then
nice.
I don't shoot as much rifle as I have before, but I got plenty to keep me there because you don't burn through rifle ammo like you do.
And you cast your own bullets, so you're good on that front.
Yeah. You were just telling me that you can't buy molds anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy anything. And so you told me and you don't. I mean, you had quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, before
you told me I went into the store the other day, Todd, and I was like, where the hell you been for the last year?
Because I just never go in and look at. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I went into D&B and I saw Mark said hi. He helped me find some hedge trimmers.
And you're like, where's the powder?
I'm like, where's your powder? I need,
He's like, where are you hiding under a rock, dude?
I want to get some 2400 to do some 44 mag and just nothing. And I asked him, I need some brass too. I need some 44 mag brass because I've only got maybe
good luck
200, maybe 300 cases.
Yeah,
and nothing.
Good luck.
Serious.
I mean, I'm to the point now where, we talked about this before, so listeners have all heard this before, but I'm to the point where I'm buying small Magnum primers, and I'll use them in my 9. I'll use small rifle primers and use them in my 9, and it is what it is, man.
Right? You just use a little less powder.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just put it in and see what happens.
We know how you reload.
So speaking of reloading here, kind of an interesting thing. I don't want to forget about it, but I got in my hand here. It's a barrel off of a Glock, right? I had a class. What was it? Tuesday night, and we were doing some teaching this couple how to draw and shoot, and we were doing one of the drills. We were pretty up close and personal to the target, and we were shooting relatively quickly. Okay,
were you 6 feet apart?
I don't even care.
Good.
I never did care.
That was a bunch of horse shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
And so they're borrowing my gun, my G19, because they didn't have any yet, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm standing next to her, and we do this thing where she draws. They were pretty new, right? I taught them how to draw. They were drawing successfully and safely, and they're doing it well, actually. And they draw the gun, and then they had to kind of I had them walking backwards as they away from the target as they fired at the target. So I stand there with my arm out, kind of behind them. So if they, I've never had anyone trip, but I'm there to stop them. Or if they get to the table, I'll tap them on the shoulder. Hey, look, stop, So I'm right there and I'm watching everything that's going on. And all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, whoa, that didn't sound right. It sounded funny. And she's like, click, click. And I was like, whoa, stop. And I would have had her, normally I would have had the student, right? Clear that thing. We've talked how to do it. Go ahead and clear that the jam or whatever it is. But I looked down and I saw smoke coming out of the back, like the back slide plate, the back plate of the gun. And I was like, that's not normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. We need to look into that. And so I took the gun from her and I was looking at it and I dropped the magazine. I racked the slide and spent case came out. And I'm like, so
why didn't it cycle? That's odd.
Why didn't it cycle? Why was there smoke coming in the back? And then it dawned on me, I think I might know what happened. So I just wanted to test it, right? So I shoved the magazine back in. I wanted to see if it'd chamber. Because I've had this happen to me personally with the 270 once. And I just was curious to see if it'd chamber, right? And because I was too lazy to take that stupid Glock apart. And it wouldn't chamber. So like, I bet you there's something in that barrel. So sure enough, I took it apart, kind of field strip right there on the table and pull it up. Sure enough, there's a round stuck in that barrel.
Right.
Thankfully, it stuck close enough to the chamber that it wouldn't load another round. Yeah. And thankfully, it was enough of a dud or a squib load or whatever. Right. I'm not correct. It had some powder in it because I did see some powder granules in there. But didn't have enough that it would actually eject and load another round.
It didn't cycle.
If it would have cycled and that bullet would have been a little further up the barrel, or it would have been like a revolver. Yeah. Bad things would have happened. Bad things. That would have been ugly.
Very bad things.
So here I go. I got this barrel and it's got this 9mm. I would show you guys, but you guys can't. I'm sure you can't.
Hold it closer.
Okay, I'll hold it closer.
No. Oh, there you can see it. There it is.
Yeah. So there you go. We'll see if that gets. I don't know. I pointed a gun at that screen the other day, and I got in trouble for that.
It was the back end of it, though.
Yeah,
you were pointing it at yourself.
That's
though.
right.
That's
bad
right. Form. Oh yeah,
but you can see that 9mm round in there. Now I need to go scrape. I thought I had one here. I'm just gonna have to go buy a little wooden dowel and tap that thing out of there. But I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, when I've had it happen too.
Yeah,
from some of my early days of reloading. I just got I used a cleaning rod.
I thought about
an old crap one.
I just want to go to wooden dowel. If I get one, it'll fit all my guns. If whatever happens again, I'll just toss it in my box. So this is funny though, because everyone knows how I reload. And when I posted a picture of it on Facebook and Instagram, I forget which. I think it was Instagram. I think someone commented. And they laughed. It was that one of your reloads? I'm like, you know what? No, that was not one of my reloads.
So just to be clear, this is factory.
This is factory ammo. And I think I'm trying to recall the box, right? That they're pulling. I think it was a Remington box. One of those, because they're the green and white boxes. Yes. And I think it was one of the value packs. It was an older one. I mean, it wasn't really old, but I mean, they bought it probably a year ago. Mm-hmm. And when Remington was still actually making ammo, they're back to making it again now. But so that was a factory load. It can happen with factory loads. So
that's scary.
I want to throw out there that eye protection, ear protection. If that gun, something would have happened and it would have bulged the barrel, or that barrel would have come apart or something, you may mess up your hand a little bit, but man, at least you're going to still have your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a guy that was shooting a 40 cal Smith & Wesson Shield subcomp, Shield, a little small gun. And he was shooting it and the thing fired. The best that we could figure out, it fired out of battery. It's not supposed to. Yeah. And pieces of gun went everywhere. They're finding guns out on the parts of that, little pieces of that gun for like weeks after on the range. And I think he was actually out there by himself, I think. But he had eye protection on. He had little bloody marks and scrapes and cuts all over his hand and his cheeks. and he had scratches in his safety glasses.
Wow.
He would have lost his eyes.
Oh, that's scarier than hell.
Yeah, he would have lost his eyes.
Yeah.
So,
oh boy.
So yeah, safety gear, PPE, whatever you call it, right? You can tell I spent a little time in
PPE.
Well, you know, you can tell I spent a little time in food plants, right?
Sure.
Personal protective equipment.
Sure, PP.
It's not that kind of show, Dave.
Oh, sorry, wait. Okay.
So since we're on the topic of we'll do this. Since we're on the topic of ammo, I got a list here that I normally just don't do anything in order, but it's just not a surprise. But since we're on the topic of ammo, I honestly will talk guns and ammo and how they've been scarce. I think guns are starting to come back a little bit. I've seen a few more guns. You know, they're staying longer in the display cases. It seems like it's not completely full, but there's more guns in the display cases when I go to the stores. I talked to a guy that is in the business of, he sells new guns, but he also takes in and buys, it's a pawn shop. So he buys used guns and resells them as well. And he says, people are starting to show up with these guns that have barely been fired and they're starting to pawn them.
Really?
And he thinks it's because, they got them, the big scare, they bought them. And now they're like, okay, maybe they need to pay taxes. Maybe they need to not have this credit card bill anymore. But they're starting to come back a little bit.
That's interesting.
Now, as far as ammo is concerned, I think ammo, it's been about a month or so since I've actually made my rounds. I used to make rounds like twice a week and look for ammo because you can still find it for a good price if you can find it in certain places.
What's a good price? Like
$16 a 50
for 9.
For 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it never really went up.
Yeah,
and so I haven't done that for a little while, but I've been paying attention online quite a bit. And it seems to me like when places are starting to get ammo back in, that they're getting like lots of it at one time. It's still going relatively quickly, but I think it's hanging around a little bit longer. But here's the thing. I was online and I'm on a bunch of email lists and I'm getting lots of emails from places that are like, we got ammo. This is the prices. And the prices are relatively, I won't say they're cheap or inexpensive, but for the price they were going a couple months ago, it's a phenomenal price. A couple of these places you can look and they'll show you how many rounds they have available, and they have 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 rounds, right? Of 9 mil. And they're selling it for I think they even had a sell on it. It went down a few cents, but a couple weeks ago, they were selling it for like 62 cents a round, and then it was 58 cents a round. So if they're able to do that, and you look at other places online, and I'm told online other places is going for 9 mil was going for 90 to $1 a round, 90 cents to $1 a round.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was absolute.
Whoa.
It was absolute. Yeah, I know you don't buy ammo.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
What about components though? Are components going to come?
I haven't seen components I don't think you're going to see components for a while because the factories are sucking them up, right?
Gotcha.
They're sucking up all the components, but I think the price is coming down a little bit. And I got an audio clip we'll listen to here in a second, which we'll talk all about that and just kind of throw out some ideas. Nobody knows for sure. We're just kind of speculating here, but I feel like it's starting to come back a little bit. Mm. I really do. Not that the drought isn't over, right? I think we can see a little rain on the horizon. Is that poetic? The rain is coming.
I'm speechless.
Okay.
I had something filthy to say, but that was it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, yeah.
This is a family show.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to play this clip, and I got it set up to pause. So I will pause it from time to time and we will comment on it. This guy's he's a little excitable. It sounds like he's maybe drinking a lot of coffee and some Red Bulls. And this is just a clip that I got off of YouTube. So here we go.
Hey there, friends. Thanks for checking in. I have a question for you. Is the ammo shortage over, or possibly a little less painful? And the reason I say that is because I have gotten so much feedback from viewers here that have told me they went into the local gun store, they went into some big box store, and they were surprised at how much ammo was available. Before it was increased price and availability. Now it seems to be just increased price. And I think there are some reasons for that, but I have to say, possibly the price could be inching its way down a bit. And the main reason is that people are shooting less. I went into an indoor range yesterday, a place that would normally have quite a few lanes filled. It was empty. There was nobody there. And eventually somebody came in, but there used to be a lineup at the front desk waiting to get to an open lane, and now it is empty. It tells me people are shooting less. I know that. There have been people on here that say, you know what, I'm waiting it out. I'm not paying these prices. It's a complete ripoff. I know better. I have an adequate supply, which also brings me to another point. I think.
So I'm going to jump in there and say, I do think, I mean, I've been staying relatively busy, but most of my clientele has been women, have been females, right? The men, I can't get to take any classes. I really can't. And I think it's because they're like, keep my ammo. But my wife or girlfriend just bought a new gun. She needs to go. So I'm not going to take a class. And
guys know everything already. They don't need to take a class.
Yeah. But I'm here to say, though, and I mentioned this last week. Okay. This has been going on for about a year now. I mean, and it got to a point where, and everyone knows this, I'm just kind of restating the fact for you since you don't buy ammo. Before this all started, I could buy 1,000 rounds of 9mm for about $135, $140. It is getting to the point where that was 1,000 rounds of 9mm was close to $900. Yeah, absolutely insane. And
that's ridiculous.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but some of the stores never raised them. But if you go online, the prices of primers and powder and everything went through the roof. I mean, you're getting like a brick of primers was like $500.
For 1,000 primers?
Yes.
That's
I was seeing people are selling them like crazy, but
I mean, yeah, go capitalism, but
yeah,
that's criminal.
They were doing it. But so here's the thing is I lost my train of thought all of a sudden. It's time for people to get out and shoot a little bit. If you're going to train, you're going to use that gun to defend yourself. You've got to get out and know it. You got to get out and shoot. You need to pull the trigger, right? You can dry fire a bunch and that helps, but it's been a year, guys. Yeah. It's time to go shoot, whether it's take a class, whether it's go to the gravel pit with your buddies. It's something. I mean, I'm not picking on you. We shot today.
We proved this.
We shot a little bit.
I haven't shot in a long time. And I'm in the boat where I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to replenish my supply because all I do is reload. I can't get new primers. I can't get new powder. So once I'm out, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so I have not wanted to go shoot just because I'm like, when am I going to get it again?
Yeah. No.
And I'd like to keep a supply of at least 500 rounds of each. I know that's not very much what normal people do, but when I reload 500 rounds of 4 different calibers that I play with.
That's like entry level.
I know, numbers, right?
That's like entry level numbers.
500 for 4 different rounds. So
I got you.
So I got 2,000 rounds.
I got you
right there.
I'm teasing you.
I know it's little compared to what you gun freaks out there do, right?
Amass.
All right. But what you amass and hoard.
And anyway, and he talks about it.
Yeah.
But
and the point I was gonna
cut you off
because I haven't been shooting. I'm terrible. I'm making so many horrible mistakes.
I tell you, you know where a range is.
I know.
If you come out here and say, Todd, I want to come shoot, I'm going to stand out there and I'm going to
you're going to
work on you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate that. I need it.
Yeah. I tend to do that. Sometimes I go out and there'll be like a bunch of people, go shooting with like some buddies. And sometimes I'm just like, because the instructor in me, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to judge. I just want to help because I'm like, I'm watching people, I'm shooting. I'm like, man, if we could just a little tweak and we just fix one thing, you'd be so much better. Some people don't want it, right? They just want to have fun. Some people do. So I have to rein myself in sometimes.
Yeah. I don't care.
If I run up there and start touching someone's hands, they look at me like I'm a freak.
Well, that is
I am a freak.
That's some personal space there, you pervert.
But that's right. I start rubbing their arm a little bit.
Start sniffing their hair like Joe Biden.
Start rubbing them. Forearms like a wrench. Forearms like never mind. We got to go.
You use pert.
That's right. You smell purty.
Stockpilers settle down a bit. I think that because they have an adequate supply, that they don't feel the need to go out and continually pay or overpay for ammo that they already have. I also think that the scammers and the scalpers, those guys that wait in line just to score any type of ammo they can get their hands on and throw it up on Gunbroker and try to rip people off, I think their days are over. These guys who thought they were heroes amongst the 2A community, providing a service that were really providing nothing more than money for themselves, created a huge problem. They would go in and buy boxes and boxes of anything they could, even if they had no intention of shooting it, just to make money. I think their days are over. Goodbye. You will not be missed.
So he talks about this. Now, there's a commercial on the radio for those of you who are local. And I don't know where this guy's from. And I don't even know the name of his company. So I don't even want to say for sure. But he was set up at the Arctic Circle in Kimberly. And he spent a ton of money for airtime, for commercials and stuff on the local radio stations, like the best one in the valley, right?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, he was there on Friday, and I don't know if he was there all weekend or not, but he advertised, I got ammo, tons of ammo, come buy it, buy a little, buy a lot, buy
he's just selling it out of the back of his truck.
Buy a trailer, from what I can tell. And he's selling, I think if I read what I was told right, it was like $36.99 for 50 rounds of 9mm. Okay, now I don't know the ammo. It was some weird off-brand, right? So I don't know this guy. Is this guy a scalper? Or is this guy a brand new business? He doesn't have a storefront. He decided to get in the ammo business. Got the right FFL to load the ammo and resell it. I have no idea, but I tell you right now, folks, that's really not a horrible price, but I can get you a cheaper price online right now. I can find you a cheaper price online. If you don't know the ammo, because this guy sent me a text, a buddy of mine, he goes, do you know this? Have you ever heard of this ammo? I'm like, I have not, dude.
That's sketchy.
You need to be careful.
Do you really want to be running something you don't know through your...
Yeah.
You're going to end up with squibs.
Yeah. And there was people making a living off this. They drive around with little enclosed trailers and pick up ammo wherever they could find it for cheap. And they drive all over. And if they're passing a town, they call the local gun stores and they say, I got a bunch of ammo. I'll sell it to you. Here's what it is. You need it. You need it. And that's what they were doing. So is this guy seeing the end coming? So now he's just trying to dump his crap. I have no idea. I don't know the guy. I'm not talking bad about him, but really you're setting up shop in an Arctic Circle fast food restaurant parking lot. And you just like come buy the ammo. That seems just a little bit shady to me.
Yeah. It's a little sketchy.
So yeah.
Good luck. I hope you go wait in line and you sit on this ammo because not many people are buying it. I also think that the new gun owners may have wisened up to the increased cost of ammo. Now, many people who are new, they typically get a box or two of ammo, but when you have so many people buying guns and buying a box or two, maybe even
8 million, the listeners have heard this, but you haven't. 8 million first-time gun owners bought guns last year.
That's fantastic.
First time.
Wow.
And you think they buy like 1 box of ammo, 2 boxes of ammo when they buy that gun. So that's one of the reasons that overloaded the system.
Gotcha.
In a case or two, that certainly hurts the market. And I think that was a factor in this shortage. I also believe that Remington, well, I know for a fact, Remington's now producing ammo. Now, Remington is a huge producer. They have been for years. They were shut down as they transitioned, and now they are up and open and producing ammo. That is adding so much to the market. Coupled with Federal, CCI, Blazer, that whole group is pumping it out 24/7. Now, they had to rehire a bunch of people and then train new people to produce ammo. Those people are now settled in. They are producing ammo 24/7, adding so much more to the market.
I think that is a really good point because I saw lots of videos and I've shared them. I played them on the podcast, shared them on my Facebook page of the presidents, the CEOs of these ammo manufacturing companies say, hey, look, we're 24/7. I mean, we're going. We got people here. We're a little low on staff because of COVID, right? Some of them some of them we hired back. Some of them we didn't. The new people that are coming on, we have to retrain them. You can't just let someone go on the machine. Like there's a training process, right? They're making the ammo that you're going to shoot in the gun, which you don't want to do this.
Right.
And so you have to retrain them. And there's a point I've never thought about. Those people are probably up and trained now, and they've probably settled in. They know what they're doing, and they're probably able to make a lot more ammo a lot quicker now. I would imagine. That's a good point.
Well, when I was talking to Mark, when I went to D&B and saw the new store, I asked him, where is it all? Where's it all going? He's
gone.
Like, it's components is the big problem. The ammunition makers can't get components.
Well, and that's why you can't get components.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't get them because now all the ammunition manufacturers are sucking them up. That's
right.
What you were saying.
A lot of people, I've heard people also say too that there's big government contracts, right? They're trying to fill those. I don't think that's the deal. I really don't. I think it's just it was the perfect storm. As much as I like conspiracy type stuff, and I do get into it. I think there's a lot that goes on that we wouldn't even believe is happening, right? I think there's a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't know that this has to do it. They're not stocking ammo in some secret warehouse. I think it was just everything hit all at once. You had the lockdown, you had the COVID, you had the election, you had the riots, people are getting scared, you had first-time gun buyers. That's all it was, honestly. And then, Federal fell out because they went bankrupt and was bought out by another company. And then they disappeared for like 6 or 7 months and like went offline. Now they're back up and running just in the last month and are manufacturing ammo again. So they went down. They didn't have any back orders like these people did. So I think they're able to pump a lot more ammo to the general population.
Well, I just hope that their prices stay the same, because now with our with the cost of energy going up, the cost of oil is going up. We're no longer energy independent as a nation. We're going to be relying on other sources, which are not as reliable.
Yeah.
Plus hackers in wherever that are going to try and ransomware again, because if you just fall over and bend over for these people so they can ram it up your ass, then they're going to do it again and again.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've heard the last of energy shortage.
We're going to get desperate. I mean, you got the people are like filling up garbage bags full of freaking fuel, right? Pictures. I mean, I'm going to start pissing in my empty shell case and see if I can create some kind of gunpowder. Right. I mean,
but whenever the cost of energy goes up, whenever gasoline goes up, cost of everything else goes up because it costs money to transport those things. And so Elon Musk hasn't yet got the technology to make a diesel truck that can ship those things out.
Well, this may get a little bit better, but then it may go bad again. I mean, who knows? We're fixing to find out. Let's see what else this guy has to say, though.
Also, we have new producers and new imports that we have coming in that is adding more ammo to the market. And so here we have an increase in availability. I do believe that we will see some decreased costs. I hope so, because it's been crazy. But I do think the market has stabilized. This is the first time I've ever felt this way. Through the feedback and through what I've seen and speaking with people in my own life that say, hey, I'm able to get this stuff now. It really is amazing. And we didn't know when the end was in sight. I'm not saying the end is in sight, but I think we're starting to inch our way there just a little bit. What I have seen that is so frustrating are all these fake ammo companies. I've seen them on Facebook. I've seen them on Instagram. I see their fake websites with their phone numbers where somebody's purchased some cheap little phone, got a phone number with it, and using that as a form to rip people off. I know for a fact there are a lot of suckers out there that are paying for ammo that is never going to make its way to them. And I'm going to give you a little hint on how to avoid these people. If they are charging and the deal is so good, you say, I have to get this, I can't pass it up. And their forms of payment is PayPal, Venmo, Bitcoin. I'm telling you right now, it's a scam, and they're everywhere. And they will come to you. Like, they will message you on Facebook, on Instagram. They will send an email and say, hey, you look like somebody who enjoys shooting. I have all this ammo. And then,
you look like somebody who enjoys shooting. I have all this ammo. Send me some Bitcoin.
I can't get over the fact that he said, I've never felt this way before.
So there's all kinds of nutty stuff going on, right? I put the ammo scammers, right? Just this one he just talked about. I put the ammo scammers up there with the come get your concealed carry permit online. It's on Facebook. It's really easy. It's 20 minutes and you've got your permit. Yeah, those don't work.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. People pay for it. They get it. They go down to wherever it is and they try to get their concealed carry permit. I took this test. It says I should get it right here at the bottom line.
Gosh.
So yeah, that does.
Oh, that's just sad.
That does not work at all.
Right.
So I think they're coming back. I think it's coming back a little bit. I'm hoping that it loosens up just a little bit. So we'll see. We got this big panic look as I look down at the board. I'm just going to fill everyone in. I've got to say it. It's like the elephant in the room.
Shit, oh dear.
Todd never pushed record. So this is all going out just perfect on YouTube. And what I do is I found a handy little technique where I can actually take the YouTube video. I can extract the audio from it. I can put it in another program and I can make it a podcast.
Oh, fair enough. Easy.
Quality's not as perfect, but it'll still work.
Fair enough.
So God, that's a rookie move. I do that about every 2 months.
It seems to be just when I'm here.
Did it happen last time you were here too?
It's not the last time, but it was.
Yeah. We just get to talking too much, and I hit the intro button, poof, and I forget to hit the record.
Right. We get the conversation before you hit record is usually really good.
It happens,
and then we just get going.
This is the way I look at it. I love everyone that subscribes to the podcast. I love everyone that watches on YouTube. But you know what, people? You get what you pay for.
It's free.
That's right. And this is what the old Cajun Cowboy says when he's on here. He actually does a podcast now. But the Cajun Cowboy always says, "Get what you pay for," and you ain't paying much for this.
Right.
So there you go.
Just an investment of your time.
That's right. On your drive to work, right?
Sure.
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a new segment, but I want to harp on this. I've harped on this before, but we're going to talk about this. Training tip of the week.
Do you have a jingle for it?
No.
Oh.
Training tip of the week. Trigger press. Know how to press your trigger. Notice I didn't say trigger jerk. Notice I didn't say trigger pull. So I've seen a lot. I have a lot of people come for private classes and whatnot. And the number one thing I've seen is their trigger press. They're jerking it. They're pulling that trigger. And I'm going to tell you probably how you press the trigger relates to probably 80% of how well you shoot. I mean, it is a big deal, right? You want to be able to press that trigger without moving the rest of the gun. The bullet's going to impact wherever that barrel is pointing at the moment that trigger breaks. And if you jerk it at the last minute, a little minute adjustment on your end is going to be like 2 inches by the time it gets to the paper.
If not more. And I've realized today that this is a skill that will deteriorate if you do not use it.
It does.
Because we were out here and I'm just slapping the trigger. I was jerking it really, really bad.
So I was telling you about the class that I took, and they talked about muscle memory. And they said there's no such thing as muscle memory. What it is, and I don't remember some of the terms they use, but being in the medical profession, right, which you are, they talk about neural pathways. And when you do something over and over and over again, you develop these neural pathways. And the more often you do it the same way, it builds up something around these neural pathways. I don't know what it is. It strengthens the neural pathways.
Right. So you fall back on those neural pathways because your body's used to using them.
It's used to using them.
Yeah.
And so when you practice with the trigger and you practice the trigger press, that's how you get better neural pathways. That's how you develop that muscle memory, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
Now let's talk about the trigger for a minute. I tell everyone when it comes to the trigger, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You're not going to be freaking John Wick by the time you leave my 2-hour private class. I do an okay job, but I ain't that good, right? You're not going to be John Wick. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You're not going to probably get to fast after your private class or your permit class. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to get it.
Slow it down. Go slower than what you think you have to. Once you get it slow and you learn your trigger and you learn the stages of the trigger, you know that trigger freaking almost intimately, right? You need to know where every creak, pop, snag, drag, whatever your trigger does, you need to know exactly where all those are going to take place. If you can't feel those at the beginning, you're going way too fast and you're going to jerk that trigger. So there's 3 parts to every trigger. Most triggers, right? You're being a revolver guy, you're going to fight me on this. And I get it.
Well, it's just different.
It's different. But we're going to talk about semi-automatic triggers typically, right? You're going to have a slack or the take up, and we're talking striker fire.
Right. All striker fire. The 1911 is just a little bit different. The take up is so much different.
Yeah, you're going to have slack or what they call take up, and then you're going to have a wall. So you pull through the slack or squeeze, press through the slack, right? Get to the wall. You stop at the wall. When you get to the wall, add slow, steady, continued pressure till the trigger breaks. Okay? That's how you do it. You don't move the rest of the gun. You want to go slow and learn everything. Once you learn that down, it'll start to smooth out. And then essentially what happens is it's like your finger becomes like a piston. So you just press through.
Right.
You press through, and it's smooth. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody.
With a revolver, if you're shooting at double action,
revolver's straight up.
It will stack up. You can feel it. If it's a good trigger, you will feel it at the beginning. It's really heavy, and then it stacks and stacks until it just about breaks.
Yeah.
And then boom, it'll drop.
And that's when you just want to start by just pressing through.
Just pull through.
Press
through. Don't pull.
Don't pull. Pull
Okay.
is and you whatever. I'm
Press
sure that
through.
people
Okay.
who are listening to this are going to understand what the means. So yeah, you don't want to jerk the trigger. So that is the training tip of the week.
Don't jerk your gun off.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to press that trigger. Okay. And I tell everyone it's not press with 2 S's. It's press with 7 S's. So if you're pressing the trigger, you go press. You want to go press. Bang.
Interesting. I'm going to go home and practice.
Press. Bang.
Press.
Bang.
Okay, very good.
That's enough. Now that you redlined the microphone, we're perfect.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, let's jump into this state of Idaho news, right? Idaho did pass what they call something I've talked about earlier. They did pass Governor Chicken Little finally signed the Idaho Small Arms Act. And what that does is a real quick recap is it's going to protect the state from anything coming down federally from Biden that talks about gun confiscation. It talks about mag restrictions, talks about anything that might go against constitutional laws of firearms, right?
So this is supposed to be a sanctuary state.
Kind of. They didn't
Type of
label it a
law?
sanctuary state because the sanctuary kind of has kind of a negative connotation to a certain extent just because of other things.
Oh.
But the neat thing
Second
about
Amendment sanctuary.
the sanctuary, like the sanctuary for like people
For
who get shipped
immigration?
yeah.
Okay.
So that was our thinking. But anyhow,
Racist.
what it talks about as well is it allows like your law enforcement, like the law enforcement officials, it allows the legislators and stuff like that. It takes them out there and doesn't hold them responsible, and they're free from liability if they jump in and defend that and uphold that if the feds come in and try to do something. It holds them free from liability, right? That's one of the things they wanted. It allows them to actually go and do something to where they won't get in trouble for it.
So if the feds come in, try and go door to door, and law enforcement tries to intervene, they won't be held responsible.
Yep.
Is that what it says?
Yep. The
Okay.
sheriff's department is the highest authority in the state. It's even over the state police. The sheriff is. He can come in and say no. He can shut roads down. He can whatever he goes. Goes
In each county.
in each county. Yep.
Is there some? I'm just curious. Is there someone who's over the sheriffs?
Yeah, the head sheriff. I don't know.
Who's the head sheriff?
I don't know. I bet you I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of this.
He lives in Rock Ridge.
Rock Ridge.
The new sheriff's getting bigger.
So, okay then. Your Western show.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing
Okay.
Saddles.
I'm not good. I'm not Mark.
Oh, we need. Yeah, it's all
Freaking
good.
Mark.
I'll laugh at all my own jokes.
Mark's new name is the Gunslinger, and the Gunslinger is not here because you're really good with movie.
It's just
You guys are great. Jarver's pretty good too.
Yeah.
And you've never met Bathroom Paul. He's been on the last couple episodes.
Bathroom Paul.
Yes. You need to, obviously you don't listen to the podcast. I'm not going to fill you in if you don't listen. Do you listen to podcasts?
I listen to political podcasts.
Why didn't you listen to this one?
Because I'm listening to political
You're
podcasts.
freaking on this one sometimes.
I know, right?
Why don't you listen?
Plus, I've got a commute on Monday and Friday. That's an hour and a half
support
each
your
way.
friend.
For the same reason, I don't come over and shoot.
I'm offering you, but you're driving.
I know.
I'm
I've got
offering-
plenty of time.
I'm offering you free instruction,
I know.
and you still won't listen to the podcast.
I need to. Yeah.
Pay your
I'll
dues.
I'll repent. I'll say some Hail Marys and shit.
Pay your dues, which is
My
listening to
dues?
the podcast, and then I will help you with your shooting.
Oh, okay.
That a good deal?
Sure. Yeah, that's a fantastic deal considering what I'm getting out of it.
I just want you to listen.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm hard up for listenership. I will say though that we are up to 110 YouTube subscribers.
Are we really? How many people are watching now?
2. But that are watching live. This is live.
Yeah.
Great. Now drop down to 1. I'm kidding. He did not. Okay.
Anyway, getting back to the
to the
So
important stuff.
what are there problems with this bill that has been passed?
No, I kind of like this bill. This is
Yeah?
a good bill. I think that this is probably one of the best things that the state of Idaho has done this during this legislative session. There was a child that went in and we had a school shooting. Okay.
Not very often in Idaho.
Not very often in
Yeah.
Idaho. We discussed it last week. And there was a bill in there to allow teachers to carry if they had their enhanced permit and got some continued training, right? If they wanted to. Guess what? We had a school shooting. Guess what? They didn't even bother to look at this year. That one. They don't care about your children, folks. They don't care about your children. They don't care about your teachers, but they surely they want to be protected up in the state house. But they think that the little sign on the outside of the school door that says "No guns allowed, no firearms allowed" is good enough to protect your children. But they walk around with armed security up at the Capitol building up in Boise.
I'll be damned.
But they don't give a shit about your kids. They really don't. Honestly, they don't. We're not saying allow anyone and everyone to carry a firearm there. Okay, I'd love it if it got there. But what they're saying is allow the teachers who want to carry if they get their enhanced permit and then go through certain amounts of training every so many months.
So the school that our local charter school here in town has a big sign on the door, which I think is very effective.
Yes, that one. Yes,
That says our teachers carry and are trained. Right?
Yes.
Does it say that you're
There's
trained?
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, and come in at your own risk if you attempt violence. No, it doesn't say that. What it just says, it's just a warning that the teachers carry.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
fantastic.
say all the teachers. It just says some of our teachers are trained in carry, and which implies you guess which one.
It's that new saying that's going around. F around and find out.
Right. Yes.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
So so this is obviously it's a charter school, so it's going to have different rules.
Right.
Public schools,
public schools in the
what's
state
the
of
law?
Idaho right now are covered by Idaho federal blanket law, which says you can't carry. Okay, unless enough parents or concerned parties go in and they talk to the school board and they present the idea to the school board, and then the school board decides, hey, yeah, we like that idea. We're going to let people carry. They can put in whatever rules and laws they want. They can say they need a permit. They can say only 5 people can carry, and we don't want their names. They can say whatever they want, right? Once they approve that, and the key is they have to write it into their bylaws so anyone can read them, right? They have to write them into the bylaws. Once they're written into the bylaws, they're good to go. The federal blanket law no longer pertains, and whatever they have written in their bylaws pertain.
So
they can change it on their own.
They've left it up to each school board to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good plan.
It is a good plan.
I like it. Now we just have to get people into their school boards.
And so with the school you're talking about, your kids still go to that school?
Yeah. They
So
do.
I was on board years ago before your kids went there, when my kids are still going there.
Yeah.
And I spearheaded. Well, it didn't happen when I was there, but I went in with a group of concerned parents, and we tried to spearhead that with the school board. And I like to think that I'm an OG, and we opened the doors for this. Really.
So with this school this school, it's a charter. Is their school board different than like?
Yeah, they have their own, because they're a
have their
charter
own
school. They have
school
their own
board.
school board.
That's just over that school.
Yep.
Okay. So it was probably a little easier than the other school boards are on it.
Yeah.
Now, how heavily involved are teachers unions in Idaho?
I have no idea.
I wonder
if
that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you hear about in Chicago or New York, how big it is.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Are teachers part of a union here?
I'm sure they are.
Are they?
I'm sure. I mean, they're national unions.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Interesting. I wonder what kind of influence that they have. Is it around here? You don't hear about it very much at all.
Right.
Oh,
It's Idaho.
Yeah, no one cares about Idaho.
I do. Stay
I
out.
know I do because we live here.
Stay out.
Right? Go away.
Go away. So I got a question for you.
Mhm.
So what caliber do you normally carry?
One of two. I either carry, and this is odd because I like things that make big
butts,
holes.
and I cannot lie.
Yeah, big bullets, and I cannot lie. I carry a 45 auto
Right.
ACP, or I carry a 32 Magnum,
Okay.
32 mag revolver round. And honestly, the only reason I carry that 32 mag is because it was given to me by my dad.
It's not a bad little revolver.
Yeah, it's got a great trigger.
So I will say, and the reason why I bring this up is because there was an article, and this is going to be your baby. You kind of looked at it a little more. You know calibers inside and out, right? And we just kind of touch on them and comment on them. But there was an article that came out in Field and Stream, and it talked about it. It's got a whole list of handgun cartridges that are soon to be, in their minds, soon to be obsolete. Now, I'm not giving much credit to what Field and Stream says. They used to be, I think, a decent magazine. They're kind of just a freaking rag like most of them are anymore.
Well, all they are is vehicles for advertisement.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I don't get shooting magazines anymore.
Yeah.
Because you read an article and you're like, well, what's wrong with it? They don't tell you anything wrong with any of the products that they have. It's all.
I got a good magazine for you. Still carry the USCCA magazines. Are good.
Look at that. Yeah.
So anyhow, go ahead. What are the, I guess, touch on them and give us your thoughts on them a little bit if you want.
I've never heard about of this guy before. Of course, I don't read Field and Stream. The guy's name is Richard Mann, and this was just published on May 14th. Anyways, 6 cartridges that he thinks are going by the wayside that are just on their way out or are dead and gone. This first one is the 32 ACP.
It's the one you carry.
No. Mine's 32 Magnum.
32 Mag. Oh,
right,
okay,
but it's not much. Yeah, the 32 ACP is. Yeah, that one, and the second one is the 25 Auto, which is, yeah.
I could kind of see that. I did read this. This actually posted up on a Facebook page that I'm a member of, right? And it's better than a stick. It's better than a rock, right? Okay, This is what I'm going to say. But this guy who posts up, he goes, I don't know why he wants to. Is it 25 Auto? Is that what it is?
So 25 Auto.
Because I don't know why they're saying the 25 Auto is going to die. I think most women should carry a 25 Auto with a laser and a light on it. And I'm like, what the freaking hell?
Why the hell would you want a laser and a light on there?
I don't know, but he was just funny. He just, I think everyone needs a 25 Auto.
Well, here's what this.
He said he thought they were especially helpful for women. That's what he said. I'm like, what are you, like 92?
What a misogynist. Oh my gosh. Go back to BLM. So or Antifa. So this, the 25 Auto, generally it says it shoots a 45 grain bullet at 800 feet per second, which if you compare it to a 22 Magnum is shooting a 40 grain bullet at 900 to 1,000 feet per second. So
you're better off with them.
Yeah. Compared to the 25 Auto, but it does say interesting. Oh wait, no. There's another anecdote here about the 32 ACP, which isn't too much different. Not very heavy round, going relatively slow, but it is the cartridge that killed Adolf Hitler.
Which one?
32 ACP.
Really?
Yeah, he offed himself with a 32 ACP.
Do we know that? I think he went inside the tunnel and ended up in Argentina.
Well,
he went through Hollow Earth. He started up in Antarctica. Have you not heard that?
No. What are you doing? Did he get in a submarine and follow the same tunnels?
No, there's a tunnel. He went into Hollow
that
Earth.
Godzilla follows in Godzilla 2, where
he went into Hollow Earth and he came out of Argentina. That's why there's such a German influence. Never go on.
Anyway, yeah,
I've got proof to back it up.
Yeah, who knows? But then, he tells another story here. 25 Auto, very light bullets.
Yes,
that are going relatively slow. It's obviously subsonic. He tells now this is just anecdotal, and we know how anecdotal stories go, or how much weight they carry.
Right.
But it says, let's see, the guy who wrote this said his grandfather told a story back during Prohibition. Grandfather was running moonshine, and a deal went south. It was just basically a drug dealer back then. So a deal went south. The one guy had a 25 Auto, and he shoots the other guy. Let's see if he says how many times. Nope, it doesn't say how many times, but he unloaded his entire pistol into the other guy. The other guy calmly walked back to his truck, got a shovel, and beat the shit out of the other guy that shot him.
So 25 Auto though, that's bigger than a 22, right?
No, that's the one that's smaller than 22 Magnum.
Okay.
Well, diameter wise, yes, it's bigger. It's a 1/4 inch, right? Whereas 22 is 221.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
1,000ths of an inch. But yeah, you're still making itty bitty little holes and there's not much penetration. And since it's so slow, you're not getting much of a expansion or the what I forget what they call it. You get technical when you shoot the ballistic jello and it makes the cavity, the wound cavity.
Yeah.
The shockwave cavity is very small because
it's all the energy. Yeah.
All the energy is Anyways,
freaking mosquitoes are big.
It's like Bill Cosby playing buck. Anyway, a mosquito. The next one on the list here is the 41 Magnum, and this one makes me sad. The 41 Magnum, of course, it's a revolver cartridge, but it's very, very similar to 44 Magnum.
Right.
Now I can see how it's not very useful because anyone that gets this, why don't you just get a 44 mag?
Isn't that? And I heard rumor, and I'm not a big Western. Wasn't it like John Wayne or someone like that actually used a 41 instead? I thought it was just John Wayne or like Dirty Harry or.
Well, when you hear about, Dirty Harry said in the second movie, which was called Magnum Force.
Yeah.
And he's on there going through one of their shooting competitions. He tells the people that, I load it with 44 Special, not 44 Magnum. That's how he can actually get away with controlling it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he's shooting a 44 Special out of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because if he was shooting full house 44 mag out of that Smith & Wesson.
I can do it.
Oh, my gosh. I can't. I'm done after one round. Anyway, so the 41, it's just slightly smaller diameter than the 44 mag. They're very similar, the same length. They got very similar power. The bullets are just a little bit lighter, but it makes me sad because my pop had one of these, and
they've got their own little following.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these rounds that we talk about right now, they're gonna. I mean, if they do go away, they're gonna. A lot of these are actually kind of hard to find anyway.
They are 40.
And I think as long as there's reloaders out there, I don't think they're ever gonna actually fully die. Right? I mean,
I don't think anything ever really
dies
like that.
It just.
Since these have been around,
loses
so
popularity.
Yeah, the popularity goes down, so then it becomes more of a novelty to be able to shoot it.
Yeah. So what's after the 41?
So the next one of the 41. He just says it's fitting to extinction because 357 Magnum is easier to shoot, and the 44 Magnum hits harder. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Just depends on how you load it. If you can reload, then you can tailor to exactly what your own spec. Anyway, this is just as for all you that just buy stuff on your own. The next one on the list here, this makes me sad too, is the 32 H&R Magnum, which is what I carry.
Sometimes, right?
Sometimes, yeah. This mag, it is little. This guy talks about how it just shoots an 85 grain bullet at 1100 feet per second, but honestly, I don't shoot 85 grainers. I shoot 100 grainers out of mine.
Right.
Yeah.
What is he titled out? He says the Magnum that's not really a Magnum, or the Magnum that wants the wannabe Magnum, or what? He calls it something.
Well, there's the 32 has an interesting history because it's, of course you have the 32 ACP, which is at the beginning of this list, but you've also got a 32 short, which came out in the 1800s. Then you got a 32 long, and then
like the 22.
Yeah, and then the
22 mag,
right? But this is so there are actually 4 different lengths of cartridge that if you get the largest chambered revolver for this, then you can shoot all the other 3 in it as well. So you have four.
And the actual mag version of it actually kind of looks just a little smaller than like the 38 Special, isn't it?
Well, the 32 H&R mag is the same length as the 38 Special.
Okay.
And then the one that this just came out most recently, the biggest one, is the 327 Federal Magnum.
Right.
And that one is almost as long, if not as long, as the 357 Magnum.
Gotcha.
Right. So, but honestly, this little 32 H&R that I've got, you get some hollow points in it. It's and you load it up with a little bit heavier, like a 90 to 100 grain. It's going to put holes in people, because just like I used to rag on you for so often for shooting 9mm just because it's a little, it's like hitting someone with a cap gun. No, that's just it's just for the sake of argument. Honestly, if you get a good quality bullet in something like this, it's going to make bigger holes.
Oh, and that's the
So
safe
with
for
anything.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next? Which one's next
But
on the list there?
This one makes me sad though, just because I'm so sorry.
you're
I
fine.
like this round. It's easy to shoot.
Yeah.
It's got little recoil.
It's fun to shoot.
Oh man, it's great. This little gun I have is a J frame with a 2-inch barrel, or maybe even a 1.1 and 1.75 inch
Yeah.
barrel. It's very short, and my gosh, I can hit anything.
I've
with it
heard
I want.
I've heard the same thing said for about the 327 Federal. Some people
Yeah?
just freaking love that little round.
And you hear too. It's maybe it's a little too much for some people,
Right.
which seems silly. It's only a 32, but yeah, you get enough velocity behind it if it's coming out of there pretty fast, and recoil is going to be up there too. Anyway, next one, the last one, and you're going to love this. The 40 Smith & Wesson.
That 40 cal.
The 40 cal is on its way out.
I agree. The 40 cal is, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go away. I think it kind of climbed in a little bit of more popularity just in this ammo shortage, because for a while you could find 40. It was out there, and now it's gone, but you could find it. It kind of hung around. And I think people got to the point through this whole ammo crisis where they were actually buying guns for the ammo that they could find that would chamber the ammo that was available.
Yeah.
And I think you had a lot of people pick up some more 10s, and I think you had a lot of people pick up some more 40s. 40 is okay. I could shoot 40. 40 beats up on a lot of people, and people think they need a caliber with a 4 in it, and they bring it and they keep bringing it. I haven't seen it as much lately. And so you can really see when I started doing Patriot Defense, I've been doing it now for about 8 years. First 3 or 4 years, 40s were coming in, and there was when the 40 subcompact was huge, or 40 compacts were huge. And you helped me in some classes. They just beat these people up, right?
It's a snappy
and a lot of women
on its own in a large.
A lot of husbands of women would send their wife to class with a 40 cal subcompact. They need a big caliber, so when they do hit it, it does some damage, right?
Yeah.
That was their mentality. But then they would suffer. They would get these horrible flinches, but you know what? That has shifted over about the last 4 years. I don't see that anymore. Now I see mostly 9mm. That is the one that has taken hold.
Well, this guy says his argument for why it's going away is because the ballistics for the 9mm have caught up.
Oh, they have. And that's my reasoning too. And I tell everyone that. I was like, the ballistics have caught up. You get a good self-defense hollow point. The ballistics, the technology has come far enough that you can do plenty of damage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With a 9mm hollow point that you can get in a 40. And the thing with a 9mm is it's easier to shoot. It's easier to shoot. You can get back on target quicker. And when you're shooting defensively, it's all about how quickly can you get as many rounds as you can downrange and on target. And you can do that with a 9 over a 40. That's why a lot of law enforcement, it's if you ever watch that movie Breaking Bad.
I've never.
For anyone who's gonna get this reference, okay, if you watch Breaking Bad. But literally, a 40 has a snappy recoil. It's going to jump up and down. It's hard to get back on target quicker. 9mm has less. You can get more rounds downrange. And don't argue with me, because that's science, bitch. Because that's what it is.
Is that Walter White says that?
No, it's the one guy. It's the other guy.
His friend.
Yeah.
That helps him cook.
But I'm just serious. It is. It's just science. It's all it is.
So, and this also mentions in 2015, the FBI returned. Well, this was developed for the FBI.
Yeah.
This round. In fact,
he returned to the 9.
Right. They came in 2015. They went back to 9mm.
They developed it and they killed it off.
And they killed it off. Right. Anyway. Okay. Oh, and there's one more.
Yeah. And I got a question about this because I don't understand this one.
So this is the 45 Gap, 45 Glock automatic pistol.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Glock automatic pistol.
Glock tried to make their own caliber.
Made their own 45. Yeah.
Why did they do that? Was the other 45 not good enough? Was there chambering issues? You tell me. I'm genuinely curious.
Here was the idea. They made the case just a little bit shorter. They made the case the same length as 9mm, with the idea being you would have a smaller circumference around the grip, but you would have 45 type power with a gun that was the size of a 9mm.
Do you think I could go out today and I could buy a brand new Glock chambered in 45 Gap?
Yes, you could if it's a Glock, but no one else chambers for it.
When's the last time you actually saw that ammo?
I never saw it. Oh, wait. Yes. I remember on the shelf. Yes. Seeing it on the shelf. It's been forever.
Have you ever shot one?
No. I don't need to. I have a
That's
man's
my
gun.
that's my new goal now. I want someone to show up to my class with 45 gap.
Right.
I do, and I want to shoot it, but I want to double check it and make sure they're not loading like 45 ACP in it or trying to do something like that.
It won't fit.
That's a good thing.
It won't fit. Yeah. 45 auto won't fit in a 45 gap.
Oh, I'm so surprised
Yep.
I haven't seen someone with a 45 auto trying to load 45 gap in it because that was the only ammo they could find on the shelf. Is it going to be too small? Is it going to fall straight through, or will it load? Is it like?
Well, it'll be held
like,
in the extractor.
Is it like 380 into a 9?
It's like 380 into a 9.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's what it would be like. Yeah, Glock. This says Glock models 37, 38, and 39. Yeah,
freaking Glock.
I remember when this came out. I was getting all the handgun magazines back then. And
can you imagine that?
Remember reading about this?
You got Glock coming out. You know, and the Glock has its own following. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, I got a Glock.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's got a
squib in it
now, but that's an ammo problem. That's not the gun problem. I'll say that. Okay, I'll admit that. But you got all these Glock fans out there. They love their Glocks. Can you imagine? So when did they come out with 45 gap?
45 gap.
Do you remember when?
It had to have been the early 2000s.
Okay, can you just imagine? And I wasn't there. Can you just imagine the Glock fanboys? Or like, we got our gun. We got our own caliber now. We got our own caliber. We got our own gun. We got our own caliber. We got our own gun. Can you just imagine? Freaking rolling at the mouth.
Yeah, they probably had to go get Depends and wear them all over because they kept shitting themselves.
They're probably so excited. They're running around the house, pissing on everything. Like that little Chihuahua dog.
Right.
We got our own guns. We got our own caliber. We got our own guns.
Shoot, I need new pants.
We got our own caliber. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this round deserves to be on the heap. I just don't see a reason for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't handle a regular 45 ACP, just get a 9mm. Just because, just like we said with the 40 caliber, ballistics have caught up.
Yeah.
Technology has advanced to the point where, you do just fine with a 9mm.
Yeah.
There's no reason for a 45 gap anymore.
Sorry, Glock boys.
Sorry, Glock boys.
Glock fanboys. Okay, so we had 2 more things on the list we want to talk about, but you know what? The one is that other article. I don't think we're going to get to it today.
Yeah, that's very libertarian.
I want to look. Well, that's good. It's right on my alley.
That's a good. Yeah,
I want to look into it more. But I'm really honestly afraid that YouTube's going to go offline. I'm going to lose all my audio that I'm hoping to capture off the YouTube video. It's been really good so far.
Good.
Fingers crossed. I didn't do my job. I don't know. I planted my garden today. Maybe I left my brain out there or something. I can't believe I didn't hit freaking record on this. Kills me, man.
Meh.
But I've learned a trick that I can get it back. So
fair enough.
I do want to end with one thing. Occasionally, every show, I always ask people, hey, if you got a suggestion for a show, if you got this or that, or a good question, throw it out, get a hold of me, right? I always tell everyone, call me, text me, area code 620-794-6223. Let me know. I'll take it into, I'll take your suggestion and I'll think on it, right? I'll take it into consideration. That's the word I'm looking for. I'll take it into consideration. We had a guy that listened to the podcast, a listener. He actually came on. He goes, he wanted to know my story. So get some popcorn, folks. We're going to be here a while. No, he wanted to know of how I got into instructing firearms. I've actually had a couple people reach out to me asking me. He asked me to tell my story. A couple of them are just asking me kind of how I did it, and because they want to do the same type of thing, right? And so I just, way back in 1976 when never mind. So no,
I was born a poor black child in the Mississippi Delta. That's
there you go. There goes all our listener base.
Yeah, that was a quote from The Jerk.
So
great Steve Martin movie.
Anyway. Okay, so my story. How did I get into this? I tell you what, I was passionate about it. I liked firearms. I really enjoyed taking people out to shoot. I take people out to shoot all the time. New people, I love taking new people who didn't like guns out to shoot. It was fun, right? I'd love to do this. So I had been doing that for years, just doing it on my own, letting them use my ammo when ammo was cheap. I didn't care. I enjoyed it. One day, I decided, I actually was living in Kansas at the time. We moved back to Idaho. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to, were you around when I started this? And I already started this, Dean.
I think you had already started.
Barely.
Yeah. Okay.
So I decided one day I'd go get some what I called street cred, right? I went and took some classes. I got certified as an NRA instructor, which there's better places to go get certified as instructors now. Don't do the NRA. Don't give them any more of your freaking money.
Yeah, it just goes into Wayne LaPierre's wardrobe anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and got certified, right? And I wasn't ever going to do this as a business. I wasn't ever going to charge for this. And I just kind of got flung down this rabbit hole, and I love it now. But I went and I got certified. I came back. I started teaching some people. Group of my buddies, we talked about, I had got together with a group of friends and parents over at the charter school that your kids now attend.
Yeah.
And I tried to get that rolling over there, right?
Yeah.
And this is right before the Idaho Enhanced Concealed Carry Permit class came to fruition. Idaho permit came to fruition, right? It got voted in. And so it was going to be that required class that you had to go and take. And I've been helping a lot of people learn this and that. And I was pretty good at instructing people. I don't like to think of myself as a people person, but I really am, right? I don't like being up in front of like a huge amount of people.
It's different though in an instructor position.
It is when you know your topic, right?
Yeah.
Tell me to get up in front of church, forget it. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Kick me out. I don't care. So my group of friends came and said, hey, we want to take this class. I said, oh, sweet. If you find the class for this permit when it goes into law, let me know. I want to take it as well. And they're like, no, you don't understand. We want to take the class from you. You have 2 months before July 1st or whatever it is, before the thing gets voted in, right? Go figure out what you need to do to become certified to teach it. And I was like, okay. They're like, don't worry. We'll make it worth your while. Find out what you want to charge and we'll get a bunch of people. It's kind of how this took off. Honestly, I mean, it's just that simple story, right? And so I went and figured out what I needed to do to get certified to do everything. And I jumped through all the hoops and signed all the papers and did all the stuff and did all the learning. And I found a place to do it, an indoor range, figured out what I needed. And I probably 2 or 3 months later, I had a class. And I remember when I gave the first class, it was an indoor range, and that indoor range I used up till not only a few years back. I started using my outdoor range, right? Mm-hmm. Indoor range was cold. It didn't have any heat in it. And I think I had 15 people in that first class. Was that at the Buell range?
That
is the Buell indoor range. Yes, sir. And we went in there, and that place is absolutely freezing.
Except in the summer.
Yeah. And it was hot.
It's hotter than hell. And there's no ventilation.
It's the old school.
Yeah, when you get home and blow your nose, you're pulling tar out of your nostrils.
Yeah, it was awesome. You put hair on my chest.
Serious.
So
and mesothelioma.
And I grew a third nipple. No. So they were all in this little room in the pool around the pool, you know, the place around the pool tables, and it was freezing cold in there. And everyone, I'd like set up chairs everywhere, and I'm giving the class for the first time. And then we went out on the range, and it was fun. You know, I knew everyone in the class or a lot of the people, and it was an enjoyable time. I learned lots, and I've learned a lot since then. I wish that I would have had someone record that first class that I did, because
go back and laugh.
I would go back and laugh. So much stuff has changed. I've learned a lot along the way, right? And eventually from there, it was a side business, what I did on the weekends and stuff for many, many, many years. And just over probably a little over a year now, I've been doing it full time, and I love it. And I will tell you this right now. If you like fancy stuff and you like to drive a nice vehicle with a decent payment, and you like to go on vacation a lot, don't do this.
Don't do this. Yeah.
Don't do this. Honestly, when I quit and I'm not saying, I'm just answering questions, folks. Okay. And this isn't a sob story. This isn't anything. When I quit my day job to do this, I took a huge cut in pay. But you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I've got a very supportive wife. We pay the bills. They're all paid. And you know what? I'm going to try it for another year full time. If I ever have to get another job, I'll just do it again on the weekends, which is no problem. I won't shut it down, and I'll get a day job. I don't want to. I've learned to really like not having to do what other people tell me to do. I like running my own schedule, but I'm telling you what, it was a huge cut in pay. And so don't think you're going to get rich doing this.
Serious.
Honestly.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, guess what you need? You need a gun store, something that you're going to be able to make some money at, a good day job, and do it on the weekends, or you need to combine your training with something else. It is really hard to do training around here. And I'm not picking on Idaho. I love Idaho. I mean, I've left it numerous times, and I've always come back to Idaho because this is home. When I lived in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, okay, I could find probably half a dozen classes every single weekend when it came to firearms. And it was tactical classes. It was basic classes. It was tactical classes. It was permit classes. It was learn how to fight from a vehicle, learn how to clear your house with your wife, shoot at night, shoot with lasers at night, clear buildings with your buddy. I mean, shotgun, how to fight with a shotgun, you name it. There were classes every single weekend. Move here, right? We all like guns, right? You think, oh, this should be good to go, right? No, there's not that much. It's really took me a long time. It took me probably 2 or 3 years to get people to actually want to come and take a private class. They wanted the permit classes, but to come get anything beyond the permit class. And I don't know if it's the good old boy, we've been raised around firearms. We don't need that. I have no idea what it is, but I kept pushing it. And finally I got into doing some private classes, and they've kind of blossomed from there, right? It's kind of, we have our ups and downs, highs and lows. I'm even able to offer other classes. So it's been trying. It's been stressful, right? I mean, there's weeks where I have, classes canceled, classes put off, people don't show up, they don't call. I mean, that's all part of it, right? I mean, so some weeks I go, I don't make money, eventually I will, but it's just one of those things. Don't think you're going to do it and get rich unless you're just an awesome competitive shooter and, you got this huge following and you can travel around from range to range to range all across the country and fill classes. That's really the only way you're going to make $1 million doing it, honestly. And I'm not trying to dissuade. I'm just being totally flat out honest. I don't have a lot of guns. You know me. I don't have a lot of guns. I drive a 1972 Scout, so 40-year-old vehicle. Honestly, I have a nice range. I got some grass that I have lots of time to mow and keep green. But I mean, do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Am I playing it down too much? Because I mean, really, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I love what I do, though. I love what I do. I do not regret it. I love training people. I love helping people. I absolutely love it. One of the cool perks is I can write my ammo off, and I've got a little range out here that I can shoot on whenever I want. That's cool.
But are you happy?
I am happy.
Are you happier than you were before?
Oh my gosh. Me and my wife.
It's worth it.
Me and my wife just talked about it today. And she goes, I was really worried about you at that last job.
Yeah.
I was there for like 6 years, I think 5-6 years, something like that. And the phone, you were pretty much on call 24 hours a day. It was absolute kind of just hell. My phone would ring, my work phone would ring and my soul would die.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it anymore. I'm not a big person about being told what to do. Make suggestions to me, right? But these customers that I had, they were big, they were important, and I don't want to get into that. That's in the past life. I'll never go back there again. It paid well. Don't get me wrong.
But at what cost?
But there was a huge trade-off.
Yeah.
Huge trade-off.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably. Yeah, no.
I think what you're describing is the struggles of pretty much any small business owner.
Oh yeah,
you're not going to get rich with your own small business,
right?
But my gosh, you'll be so much happier.
Yeah,
and there's something to be said about doing something that makes you happy over having stuff.
Oh yeah, I never hate it
because you
right?
have money.
I do lots of private classes. Pete just joined. Hey Pete. I do lots of classes, lots of private classes, lots of beginners classes, which is absolutely fantastic. And you know what? On paper, it is thanks, Pete. On paper, it is the same class over and over and over again, but it's not, because I have different students. I have different people, right? And so they each need something different. Sometimes some of them have good trigger press. Some of them have good stance. Some of them have never shot before. Some of them have never even owned a gun before, and they're using my gun. So every class is different. The material is still the same, but you have to learn how to tailor that and adjust it on the fly for the person you have there. And you don't know who you're getting in your class. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You've got to get creative. You've got to, you might have that person who doesn't know how to shoot, that person who is scared of guns, who picks up a gun, fires it, and bursts into tears, right? I've had people that are deathly afraid of that, and they've done that, right? You spend all time in the class going over them. You have a person that shoots 10 rounds and are like, my stress level, I'm done. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I learned a lot, and I want to do more, but I am done for today. Right? You don't know who you're going to get in your class, and you have to know how to deal and handle those situations. You really do. And then when you're not in a class, you spend all your time trying to figure out how to generate classes. I mean, it's not like this is a huge populace.
Well,
a
you're doing
ton
what
of
you
people.
love,
I love
but
it.
in order to support a family, you've got to generate some revenue.
Oh no, you do very much
Yeah.
so. So I'm planting a garden because I've had some low times. And I'm going to make my own food, grow my own food.
Well, and you got, are your turkeys still out there? Did you eat them?
No, I got ducks and chickens.
Yeah,
I probably
ducks and
got
chickens,
close to 40 something birds out there.
Yeah, that keeps you fed.
I don't eat them.
You don't eat them?
I'm all plant-based.
You just get, oh, that's right. You get the eggs?
I don't eat the eggs. I give the eggs away for free.
What do you keep them for? Bug control? They go around and eat the
I
slugs?
just like them.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
They started out being my wife's, and I feed them now.
Yeah.
And I go in there and I got little names for my chickens, and I kind of like them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, usually they're not very nice names, but I've got them.
Oh, yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Like when I go, it's late enough now that when you leave, I'm going to go in there because I haven't done my chores yet. Yeah. I'm going to go in there and gather the eggs, and all those little sons of bucks are going to be in there, and they're going to be roosting, and they go up in the rafters of the chicken coop.
They crap
and
on
roost up there, and I go in there, and they all start going. I'm like, come on, ladies, take it easy. I go in there and go, easy there, ladies. It's just painful for me. I'm going to get in here. I'm going to get this. And then you get in the middle of something, freaking feathers everywhere. Everyone's trying to fit through a little tiny opening, and it's just mass hysteria. And anyhow, that's my life. That's the exciting life of a handgun instructor.
True.
There you go.
Right.
So, but that's my story. You guys wanted to know it. So there you go.
That was a great story.
Okay, so let's end this thing. Let's bring this thing home before we lose YouTube. It was pretty good because I need that to stay up because I need to catch that audio because some moron didn't push the record button.
Well,
that was your job, Dean.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't see. I can't read upside down.
I was looking down here looking for the clock, and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
That's fine. It was.
Did you see the look on my face? When
Yes.
I was like,
yeah. You just dropped.
It did. Yeah, exactly. So anyhow, I appreciate everyone watching this on YouTube Live. You can, and I know people share this all the time, but again, I do appreciate the shares on social media. Share it on social media. If you want to listen to it and just hear the audio, I know there's lots of people that do that as well. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, on iTunes, on Stitcher, anywhere that you can find a podcast. You can find the Patriot Defense Podcast. And if it's not there, let me know and I'll put it on there. You can call, you can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. And I'll take suggestions, right? I'll listen to them. I'll take them into consideration. I won't always go with them. It is kind of my show. I like my show, but I like it because I can do whatever the hell I want to do on it.
You're not a slave to the man.
I'm not a slave to anyone, but well, I think she left. I think she actually went to the grocery store.
Did she text you, tell you it's time to come in?
No, I got her on. I track her.
Well, yeah, mine hasn't called and told me to come home yet either. We're good.
So I think it's time for us to get on.
True.
Get on out of here. But thanks for coming. Maybe you can come again more this summer. You come and shoot first.
Yeah, I need to come get
do
back
some more shooting.
I need to find some powder. And
you
some
bring
primers.
over one of your guns. I've got a hacksaw, a Dremel tool, and we're going to go ahead and get it ready for a red dot. That work for you?
Yeah, we'll get my queen safe all gutted and
perfect. Yeah, but until then, I think we are done. And I got to get to bed because I'm going on like a 20-mile run tomorrow. Yeah, it's 20.
You're freaking nuts.
If I'm feeling good, I'll push it to 24. I'm not sure yet.
Oh my gosh,
it's gonna be a good day.
Fair enough.
So until then, I'm going to go hit the hay, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.